Look around. Every day, new developments unfold. Policies change. Conflicts escalate. Markets move. Narratives shift, sometimes overnight. And each of these comes with an explanation. But something doesn't quite add up. The explanations don't match the outcomes. Decisions meant to stabilize create new instability. Actions presented as rational lead to results that feel anything but. And the more closely you follow it, the harder it becomes to see how it all fits together. At some point, it begins to feel like you've stepped into Wonderland. If you've seen the earlier Alice videos, you've already recognized that feeling. If not, you may still feel it. That sense that something doesn't quite add up. And that leaves you with a deeper question. Why does it never fully make sense? In this video, we look at what this actually changes, why understanding the world this way matters, and what it means in practice. If this feels new, start with part 1 of Don't Be Alice. That's where this begins. But for now, let's take the next step. Because the problem is not a lack of information. It's that information and the opinions built on it do not lead to understanding. More input doesn't resolve the confusion, because what's missing is not more information, but a way to work with it, a way to structure what you see, a way to interpret what it means, and a way to connect it across different domains. Without that, everything remains fragmented. Events appear isolated. Explanations stay on the surface, and the bigger picture never quite comes together. That's why it can feel like you're moving without getting closer. This is where the shift begins. Instead of reacting to every event, you start to observe. Instead of focusing on isolated developments, you begin to recognize patterns. And instead of taking statements at face value, you start to look at what drives them. That shift from reacting to observing, from noise to signal, is what changes everything. But there is a reason this does not happen naturally. You're surrounded by knowledge, entire academic disciplines, entire professional fields, each deep, each rigorous, each valuable, but each focused on its own domain. Economics explains one part, politics another, history another. Science is divided into fields, but the world around you is not, and that's the gap. You're trying to understand a reality that cuts across all of them, without a clear way to bring them together. Not a lack of knowledge, a lack of synthesis. What you need is the ability to connect those perspectives, to integrate insights from different disciplines into a coherent view of how the system behaves. Not going deeper into one field, but seeing how multiple fields interact in the real world. Because that's where outcomes are created, and that's what begins to change. You don't need to study everything. You don't need years to piece it all together. What you need is a way to bring it together, to turn fragmented knowledge into a coherent view. Because once you can do that, you don't just see more, you understand more. You begin to filter what actually matters. You recognize patterns across very different situations, and you are no longer pulled in every direction by every new development. At some point, something shifts. You are no longer just following the world. You are starting to understand it, and with that, the feeling changes. The world may still be complex, but it no longer feels like Wonderland, because you're no longer choosing to stay in it. You're starting to navigate it. And that changes more than just how you interpret events. It changes how you engage with the world around you. You become less reactive, more precise in what you focus on, more grounded in how you interpret what you see. And that shows up in how you think, how you speak, and how you contribute to the environment you are part of. Because systems are shaped by behavior, and behavior is shaped by how people understand what they see. And there is one simple shift that captures this. Don't focus on what is being said. Ask what the system is signaling through it. That is the difference between reacting and understanding. And that brings you to a choice. You can keep moving from headline to headline, reacting, interpreting, adjusting, without ever really seeing the full picture. Or you can decide to approach the world differently, to step back, to look deeper, to understand the forces shaping what you see. But to do that consistently, you need a method. In the next video, we introduce the TNBC signal framework, the way to move step by step from noise to signal, and then we apply it to the first real-world case. See you in the next one.